What is up, my gooners and goonettes? Welcome back to another video of me talking entirely too much about a topic nobody really gives a shit about. Today, we are gonna be talking about comp DVD, so please like and subscribe, or else my cute little dog Millie will not eat this week. I'm joking. Anyway, I was scrolling through Twitter where I saw a tweet that said something along the lines of DBD should not be comp and is not a comp game, simple as that. Now, part of me kind of wants to agree and say, like, yeah, Dead by Daylight shouldn't be the fucking poster boy for comp games. You know what I mean? Like, leave that shit to like COD, Apex, all that other shit, you know? But I also feel like it's jumping the gun just a tad to say that it's not comp right now. I feel like it's especially a dumb thought considering any game that's PvP is like inherently competitive, you know what I mean? I fully understand that it started as a party game, but I mean, if you know anything about me, I'm the type where I'm gonna fucking slip on a pair of brass knuckles right when I feel like I'm about to lose in a game of Monopoly, okay? Like, even though the games were made with kind of the purpose of just like goofing off and fucking, having fun with your friends, that doesn't mean it can't inherently be competitive. And if you want my honest opinion, I'm kind of happy with the state of the game right now in that sense. I kind of like the fact that most people kind of just play the game and goof off and do whatever they want, where a certain percent of people kind of like join these like private Discord servers, or follow certain people in the competitive scene, and that's where they do the competitive stuff at. I know I'm kind of talking like you have to fucking sneak out of a back door at midnight and walk down this dark alley and find a guy named Jerry that'll get you into some underground competitive scene, but it's honestly a lot more simple than that. I'm pretty sure if you search up like Dead by Daylight comp on fucking Google, I'm sure there's a Discord or some Reddit or some shit that pops up. Now, with all that being said, I do want to point out that I don't think Dead by Daylight should like cater to competitive players, if you know what I mean. Like, I kind of like the fact that they don't really do that. Like, they don't really give a shit about what's going on in the competitive scene of the game. I honestly also feel like once you start catering towards the like competitive crowd, that's when the game starts losing a lot of its like actual fun. Like, we have perks like dramaturgy where it's kind of just a gamble. It's kind of just a silly little perk, you know what I mean? Like, it is like decent, but it's not your meta perk, you know what I mean? But if the game was super mega competitive, we wouldn't have perks like that because it wouldn't be a, best of the best perk. I think that's also like kind of a reason why people always come back to the game, because if you look at games like Call of Duty, dude, I stopped playing that shit because I can't remember the last time I had like genuine fun in Call of Duty. Every fucking time that I've played that game, it's been like miserable. So then I kind of just think to myself, eventually, yeah, it was after a long ass time, but eventually I come to the conclusion of, why am I gonna fucking play this game if I fucking hate it every time I get on and it's always the most sadistic, torturous bullshit, you know what I mean? So then I just move on to kind of goofier, more lighthearted games. That's just kind of me giving behavior like, a nice little slap on the ass in a good game. The fact is, honestly, you're still gonna find competitive people on Dead by Daylight because it's just natural. Like, I feel like it's almost human instinct to just want to win in like something you do, like succeed, you know what I mean? I also think a lot of people that play Dead by Daylight are a lot more competitive than they honestly might think. Cause like Dead by Daylight does bring a competitive side out of you just because it is PvP. So honestly, like if you ever play Dead by Daylight and you get pissed off, like the killer tunneled you, you got mad, that's your competitive side showing. You know what I mean? Because you also recognize it's lame, but you're like, damn, I lost. Because if he tunneled you and then you got out, you wouldn't be that mad. I think when people say they're not competitive in Dead by Daylight, they're just kind of saying that, like, just to act like they're this, like, cool, silly little fun gamer that kind of just goofs off in lobbies, you know what I mean? But every time you get 4K'd by a nurse, then you fucking realize how much you hate the game, and that's your competitive side, kind of like fucking shining, you know what I mean? I kind of feel like it's almost like a level of rage bait now to say like, "Oh, Dead by Daylight's not a competitive game at all." It's PvP. It's gonna be competitive no matter how you look at it, honestly. I do also think there's like levels to competitive though, you know what I mean? Like, for example, I don't think in Dead by Daylight we're gonna get any fucking, like COD coverage on like their fucking COD League shit. Like, I think it's gonna stay mostly underground for the most part, so it does make it less of a competitive game. but it's still for sure like guaranteed competitive. If you're ever like telling your friends to get into the game and you sell them on it by saying, "Oh, it's not competitive at all," like, it's we just kind of goof off and have a good time, then I'd like you to apologize to that friend, because you're honestly just fucking lying to them. Because once they get into the game and they get like, 50 hours in the game and they start realizing how fucking annoying everything is in the game, they're going to realize very soon that it's a lot more competitive than they were led to believe. Especially when you have killers in the game, such as like Blight and Nurse. I feel like if it truly wasn't competitive, they'd have a lot more like goofy killers that maybe don't do as much damage, but are a lot more like fun and like funnier, you know what I mean? Or they would have a lot more like jump scare killers where they really do just fucking creep up on you and like scare the shit out of you. That would make more sense to me for like a true to the core party game, which I think Dead by Daylight started at. I don't think it really is anymore, honestly. I think now the community has kind of elevated it out of party game status. I feel like calling the game not comp is just kind of like a dumb, smooth brain thought, if I'm honest. Granted, I don't think the person who posted this really thought about it much before he posted it, like in this way. Because let's be honest, I mean, who the fuck, even puts 2 seconds of thought into anything they post on Twitter? I mean, honestly. But anyway, I just wanted to yap about this a little bit, just to share my dumb little ogre thoughts about this topic. If you like, please like and subscribe, it means a lot. And follow me on all platforms, Dino.69, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.